Biker Billy cooks with fire.
All right, welcome to the program. I'm so glad you came by and joined us. I got a nice sharp knife, and we're gonna cut us up some fun and some good eating. Yes, sirree. I've been thinking back. I'm getting ready, you see, to take a trip. I'm going south. I'm gonna get on my big bike, and I'm just gonna go down that highway till I get down to the Shenandoah Valley and enjoy myself. So I've been remembering some of the treats that I enjoyed eating when I went south last time, and even when I went south as a itty-bitty biker. So tonight I got a special recipe for you, a variation on an old southern treat. I call it Howlin' Hush Puppies. Yes, Howlin' Hush Puppies. Sit back, relax, check out the messages, and when we come back, we'll cook with fire. All right. All right, now, those of you riders out there that have been lucky enough to turn that big wheel and head on south, you probably know what hush puppies are. They're a wonderful little deep-fried cornmeal ball that may not have a lot of flavor when some people make it, but when I make it, it is outrageous. Now, Howlin' Hush Puppies. Yes, a contradiction in terms. You tell that puppy, hush down now, little puppy. They say that the fishermen down south, when they'd come back with their catch and they'd be cooking up their fish, they'd make the hush puppies, and they got their name because they'd throw them to the dogs. They'd be, yap, 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 yap. Can I hear a dog imitation, Dave? Man, this cameraman, he eats like a dog. So if I throw him a hush puppy, he'd be quiet. All right, hush puppy. So they throw them to them, and some people think that's all that's good for doing with hush puppies, but not me, no siree. They're delicious. I remember from being a wee little tot going south how much I loved the hush puppy. Oh, you could eat shrimp and this and that and everything, and I just wanted to eat the hush puppies. Now, before we get into the hush puppies, I'm going to make a wonderful cheese sauce. It's kind of like a fondue, but it ain't no fondue that you've ever seen. So, let's take a look on the cutting board, and I want to show you one of the ingredients that's going to go in our fondue. Now, these are both out of my garden, one from one year, one from another. These are long, slim red cayenne peppers. This is a frozen one that's been thawed. This is an oven-baked one. That's another way of drying it. See how dark? It's got a nice smoky flavor by doing that. That's what's going to make our sauce hot. Now, to get started with, I got a double boiler. Now, when I take the top off, you don't see the steam because underneath the top part of the pot is the boiling water. This is a very thin-walled pot. The water is boiling. It does not touch the bottom of the pot. You'll notice this is not dripping. There's moisture on it, but it's not dripping wet. So this is what they talk about in them fancy gourmet books as being over boiling water. It's not touching it, it's over it. We're going to start with that in the top because we are going to use cheese. But first, we're going to put in 4 tablespoons of margarine. You can use butter. Now, that's going to start melting down, and you'll see it in a minute. I'll show it to you that it's melted. What we're going to do is take one of these long, slim red cayenne peppers. We're going to break off the stem, and then we're going to process this with the Biker food processor. All right, ready for this? Yes, sirree. That is the Biker food processor. Break it up in your hand into nice little pieces. This hand is a registered dangerous weapon. Touch your eyes with it and you will cry. Now, we'll lift that out. You take a look. That's beginning to melt. You can just see it down in there. We're going to let that start melting. Now, we're going to start adding our spices. We're going to want to let this cook. Before we put the cheese in, we'll let it stay over the boiling water. Now, what we want here is, got my nice red hot measuring spoons. We got a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Black pepper. Now, there's no relations between black and red peppers. They just happen to be both delicious. Now, here's a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now, one of our other secret ingredients. And this is an ingredient there's a big dispute over. Is the name of this cumin or cumin? What do you think, Freeze? Is it cumin or cumin?
It'd be more polite to call it cumin.
All right, it's cumin. So, well, that's 1/4 teaspoon, except I like this flavor so much, I am going to add another 1/4 teaspoon. Now, you at home, you may not be too experienced with this spice. You may want to use only 1/4 teaspoon. I use 2. That's the equivalent for you math majors of a 1/2 teaspoon. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to dig down here on the bottom. My goodness, I got so many implements of destruction. And we're going to take a look. We got a fork, and we're going to look in here. We'll see our marge is melting, and our spices are in there. And we're going to stir them up, and we're going to let this start simmering. Now, while that simmers up, we got ourselves 1/4 of a cup of milk. We're just going to pour that in there. We're going to stir this up. And we are going to let this simmer a little while we get ready to prepare our hush puppies. Now, what are we going to do to make our hush puppies delicious? Well, they certainly are going to have a hot pepper in them. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a jalapeno pepper. I got me some nice jalapeno peppers. What I'm going to do is, these were frozen. These, I got to say a big thanks to one of my riding buddies, Ken Richards. I saw him the other Sunday, and there he said, "Yo, Billy, check this out." He had me a big bag of wonderful jalapeno peppers from his garden. Yes, you can grow them, I grow them, my buddies grow them. It's great. Growing hot peppers is outrageous, and they are so good when they are fresh from your garden. I froze this. All I'm going to do is throw this in the food processor, and I'm going to chop this up real fine. Now, while I chop this up and make a lot of noise, what am I going to do, Freeze?
Be polite and shut up.
That's right. I'm going to be a polite biker. I'm going to shut up. I'm even going to be more polite. I'm going to give you a chance to escape from the noise of the food processor. What you got to do is sit back, relax, get your bowl of Biker Billy's quick salsa recipe, and if you don't have the recipe later on, you get the address where you can write in and get that recipe free. Check out these messages, and when we come back, what are we going to do? Cook with fire! All right.